Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What item will I be unboxing? What item will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What items are compressed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now, so bear with me. It will only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the item from the box and subsequently flaunt it in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go. The unboxing process is about to commence. The unboxing process is officially underway. What item is obscured by bubble wrap? What item is engulfed in bubble wrap? Let's find out. I'm going to render the contents of the box transparent. We have the illustrious, revered Obelisk, the Tormentor, who is an Egyptian god from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Doom Monster series. How can I discern who he is? Well, I bought the item, therefore I'm apt to know what I received. Here's a glorious, epic, legendary, renowned, illustrious Obelisk the Tormentor. Is he unscathed? Is he in mint condition? Is he in pristine condition? Let's find out. I'm going to scrutinize his condition. I need to examine him. I need to determine whether or not he's marred with scratches or scuffs. Hopefully he has no dings or dents. This is my second Obelisk the Tormentor Deluxe model kit. It's a part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Deluxe model kit line. Is he the quintessential dual monster? Perhaps. The winged dragon of Ra is supposed to supersede him in power. Who's my favorite Egyptian god? Who's my favorite Egyptian god? You may ask. Well, out of the three, Slifer the Sky Dragon is my favorite. I love these spikes that protrude out of his forearms. To my dismay, he has some scuffs. Here he is as a cohesive, holistic figurine. This is a totality of Obelisk the Tormentor. As an aggregate, this figurine is amazing. As an amalgamation of various parts, this figurine is unbelievable. He tickles my fancy. He appeals to my niche interests. He appeases me. Does he eminently appeal to your niche interests? That's subjective. You can procure him to determine whether or not he warrants a premium price. I'm buoyant, I'm jubilant. I'm gratified. I'm content. I have no qualms about purchasing this figurine. This is the second Obelisk the Tormentor Deluxe model kit that I own. It's homogeneous. to the other Obelisk, the Tormentor model kit that I own. He stands roughly 13 inches tall. He towers over most figurines or model kits. He has physical prowess. He's mighty, he's audacious, he's stoic, he's noble, he's valiant. He's an Egyptian god. He safeguards the king of games, also known by the moniker of Yami-Yugi. Seto Kaiba has summoned him a myriad of times in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters series. His character is brought to life in that series. I love this figurine. I love his nitty-gritty details. I love his textures. I love his paint applications. I love his sculpt. I love his design. I love his aesthetics. I love his hues. Unfortunately, he lacks articulation in the knee joints. He lacks finger joint articulation. He does have ample points of articulation for a model kit. He can articulate his arms and his legs. He also has the autonomy to perform an ankle pivot. The ankle rocker is not optimized, but it's decent nonetheless. His thighs can't really be adjusted. You can slightly bend his elbows. He has autonomy to rotate his forearms. His biceps cannot be rotated. His calves cannot be rotated very much. They cannot be rotated a bit. If you rotate them, you'll compromise the integrity of the figurine, so I'm going to desist from tampering with the joints and I want to muck them up. I'm done fiddling with them. So, just to recap, I love this figurine. I relish taking a gander at him. He's a stupendous figurine. He does not denote shoddy craftsmanship. You may staunchly disagree. I believe that this is a robust, high-quality, novel, state-of-the-art figurine, or state-of-the-art model kit. He's massive. He's humongous. He's gigantic. He dwarfs nearly everyone. Here he is once again in the limelight. He has a scuff on one of his spikes. A scuff on one of his arms. Minor scuffs on his knees, or his knee pads, so he has some scuffs. Is it a salient issue, you may ask? Is it a calamity, you may ask? No, I can get over it. But it does agitate me a little bit. It decreases his intrinsic value and extrinsic value. I would have preferred if he was in mint condition, but we can't always get everything in the universe that we desire. Or we can't always get everything in the multiverse that we yearn to possess. So, here's the figurine once again. He's practically unscathed. He's in near mint condition. I just hope that he doesn't accumulate more scuffs over the course of time, but his condition in the pending years has yet to be seen, or has yet to be known. His future condition is an enigma. I cannot foresee whether or not he'll be a cohesive model, or a decimated compilation of parts. Who knows? Only time will tell. I love his wings. You can't really flap them too much. You can flap them a bit. Unfortunately, one of them is bent. I'm gratified, I'm content, I'm buoyant, I'm jubilant. I'm optimistic. I can't really complain too much. For under $32, I have no major gripes appertaining to this figurine. It's arduous to come by him for under $40 via eBay as a buy it now price. You're lucky if you can stumble upon him for under $35. So I was fortunate to be able to procure a second Obelisk Tormentor. The only reason I procured a second Obelisk Tormentor is because he came bundled with the Winged Dragon of Ra and Slifer the Sky Dragon. If I didn't possess those, if I already possessed the Slifer the Sky Dragon and the Winged Dragon of Ra model kits, then I would have desisted from buying a second Obelisk Tormentor figurine. The seller wasn't willing to split up the lot, so I had to concede to his asking price or forgo getting the other two Deluxe model kits. Therefore I chose to procure a second version of Obelisk Tormentor that's homogeneous to the other Obelisk Tormentor Deluxe model kit that I possess. So since the seller wasn't one to split the lot, I had no choice but to buy this figurine if I wanted the other two. So he came bundled with the other two. That's the way I view it from my perspective. Would you have implemented the same decision, or would you have forgoed buying a second version of Obelisk Tormentor, even if you had to forgo the opportunity to acquire the Winged Dragon of Ra and Slifer the Sky Dragon for under $35 each? The decision is up to you. I recollect the lot costing $93, so roughly $31 per Egyptian god monster. Was it a worthwhile decision? Is this figurine meritorious? I believe he is. If the seller was one to split the lot, then I would have abstained from getting this figurine, but I had to concede to his asking prices. So, it is what it is. This figurine is just marvelous. I love his muscle tones. I love his biceps. He unequivocally has physical prowess. He can beat his adversaries to bloody pulp. He can obliterate them. He can terminate them. He can vanquish them. He can ravage them. He can smite them with relative ease. After all, he's an Egyptian god. He possesses divine powers. He's a deity. Tremble before the might of Obelisk Tormentor, the legendary, stoic, audacious Egyptian god who has the temerity to decimate anyone within his vicinity, I guess on his bad side. If you're within his vicinity, err on the side of caution. Stay out of his proximity. If you're an ally of evil, if you're an ally of good, then you should have no trepidation about being within his vicinity, because he safeguards heroic, noble, moral, ethical, altruistic individuals, and smites sadistic, coercive, malicious, dastardly, evil spirits. So here's Obelisk Tormentor once again. I'm done embellishing this figurine. He could have been augmented if he had more points of articulation, but it is what it is. I'm done honing in on trivial nonsense. I hope you found this video to be enthralling. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.